Today's video is for my equestrians and those that might have a bit of land that's had animals on over winter. We're going to Harrow and roll the field. I know how hard it is to get contractors to come and do jobs, and my boyfriend is one. And doing small jobs like this isn't really worth their time, the fuel and stuff it takes for the tractors and stuff. I find it much easier to come and do myself with my quad bike, and then I've got my Harrows and rollers. I like to just do it myself because then I can do it when I want it done and not wait for someone to go, I can't come this day. Especially if you've only got a few acres, you're way down the priority list for contractors, it's just fact. Let's have a look at when we would chain harrow and roll, and let's get it done. If you're looking to chain harrow, ideally you want to see the ground to be crumbly so that harrows can break it up and knock it into sort of the gaps and the holes and the divots that the horses or animals that you've got have made. If you've got land like mine, you might find that some of the ground is drier and some of the ground is wetter than others. That's just life. So I've done half the field already at the top half, as that was drier a lot earlier. This is my wetter half of the field and this is the half I'm doing today. Some of it is a little bit wetter, but as long as your harrow is still breaking it up, it's not just leaving lines through the mud, then it's not actually doing anything. So then you'd be better off waiting a bit longer and letting it dry up a bit more. I do find having the quad bike, I can get on the ground when it's wetter than if I was coming on a tractor. I wouldn't come on if it was wetter because it'll compact it. The quad bike is light, and usually the roller for the quad bike will be a lot lighter. So I do find the ground being a bit wetter helps me flatten it. If the ground is too hard, it just won't roll. It just won't roll. Anyway, let's get hitched up with the chain harrows and get started. So these are my set of drag harrows. These are 6 foot, as I wanted to cover as much ground as possible so I didn't have to go around for hours and hours. I usually go anything between sort of 8 to 9 kilometres an hour, just because we want the chains to be jingling along nicely so that they break up the soil, break up them divots that the horses have made, and spread what they've broken up into all the gaps ready for rolling. So this was the ground in the gateway before we chain harrowed, the same area after chain harrowing. So it's all broken up into little pieces, so there's no peaks and mountains and divots anymore. So let's put the chain harrows away. I like to roll them up like this and then just take them to the side. So now it's time to get the roller. I'm usually on my own, so I find someone to hitch it higher onto so I can reverse up and get it over the tow bar, as once it's full of water it's really hard to move. You'll want to make sure you're hitched on properly by checking underneath that that little bit is hooked under the ball. I enjoy rolling. I find it really satisfying seeing the ground all flatten and go all neat behind me. My roller is 5 foot, which is very slightly wider than my quad, so I drive with my tyres on the unrolled area next to the rolled area, and this makes sure that there's a slight overlap and everywhere gets covered. I roll at about 4 to 5 kilometres an hour. This really gives the roller time to press into the ground. Any faster and you're just pulling the weight with momentum and it won't do a very good job. As the roller is on a hitch, it means I can reverse it and get into smaller areas. I also whiz round the mini farm ride before I put the roller away. I like to leave the bike in a neutral gear and then I can unhitch and then push the quad bike away. There we have it, the finished rolled flat field, all ready for summer. These are the little monkeys that make it such a mess. This is the area I did a few weeks ago, and this is now the finished gateway before and after. So hopefully that video has been helpful to any of you that hasn't done your harrow and rolling before. Let me know if you need any help on any other items of managing your own land for when the contractor can't come. See you next time.